Happy birthday, Auntie Dee. I love you very much. I was out here in the garage finishing up my workout, and my wife comes out and says, "Don't you forget, it's your auntie's birthday. You need to call her." So I figured since I was out here finishing up my workout, just doing some stretching, I'd make a video and talk about my Aunt Dee a little bit. She was by far one of my biggest cheerleaders and possibly one of my bigger enablers. She was always there to bail me out anytime I got in trouble. Like most Italian households, there's always somebody in the family that's either an attorney or works for an attorney, and she worked for an attorney. So anytime I got myself into trouble, it was call Auntie Dee and see if she can't get me bailed out of this. Most of the time she was able to get me bailed out. She was a great woman. I love her very much. But she had her own demons, and she had her own baggage, that skeletons in your closet, I guess you could say, that came out later on in life. And it kind of explains a whole bunch about her. I'm not going to talk about what it is here. It's personal, it's family stuff, but it breaks my heart that I guess it's just how my family's built or how we're wired. We just don't talk about things. We just put our heads down and just keep chugging forward. And I don't think that's necessarily the healthiest thing. I just wish she would have. Her and my mom were close, very close, and I just wish she would have opened up earlier on to everyone else in the family. She didn't have to tell us kids. She didn't have to just hold that burden her whole life on her own. And I've been talking to my cousin a lot more, her daughter a lot more lately, and we've been talking about a lot of this and about our family history and stuff. And, like I said, my aunt was my biggest cheerleader. She spoiled me rotten. And the more we talk about these things and the more I start just thinking about my past and just thinking about my family's past, and, on the surface, everything always looks, it always looks like we were fine, you know what I mean? Like we didn't have the cops weren't being called to anyone's houses, and my dad wasn't beating my mom, and my aunt wasn't a drug addict. You know what I mean? Like we didn't have like what are obvious issues usually in families, or not obvious, but you know what I mean? When families have issues, a lot of times it's obvious, and a lot of our stuff was just internalized, and it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. My cousin asked me the other day if I thought if my uncle was still here, which I haven't even got to tell that story yet. I haven't got the courage to tell that story yet. It's gonna be a hard story. But she had asked if my uncle was still here, if she thought things would have been different, like if I would have grew up different, just, I guess, everything. And it's hard to say. And it's even hard to say that if my aunt lifted this burden off herself, that her life would have been different instead of just internalizing it all these years. My cousin also opened up to, now I've mentioned a couple of times how I was the only boy in an Italian household, that I was a spoiled little brat. And she has no problem admitting that. And she even said that she saw it, used to make her jealous. She's a few years older than me, but she was like, "You always got away with murder, and everyone always babied you, and if we were fighting in the other room, it would, she was always the one that would get in trouble. It wouldn't be, I mean, she didn't say this, but these are the kind of things I think she's referring to, you know. But it's probably because you were the older one. Sorry. But I was a spoiled little brat, and my aunt definitely contributed to that. My aunt and my mom both spoiled me rotten. My grandma was probably the worst before she passed. But I love my aunt so much. I mean, every time. In fact, my aunt. Damn, this is gonna make me cry now. She was the one I called when I decided to get sober. I didn't call my mom. I didn't call my wife. I didn't call my best friend. I called her. I was sitting in my office in my shop, my business, and I said, I need help. Can you call my mom? Can you call my wife and tell them I need help? And just like that, she drops everything to help me. Oh, man, this is supposed to be a cheerful happy birthday video. Spent too long bottling all this stuff up. Even after that phone call, I ended up getting arrested. She bailed me out of that too. She's a great lady. She's loved by many. You know, my uncle, he's got a ton of brothers, so there's all kinds of brothers and nieces and nephews and cousins and pretty big family. And everyone would say the same thing about her. She's amazing. She's an amazing person. Yeah. Love you very much, Auntie, and I just wanted to tell you happy birthday. Hopefully I can get you guys to come out here to Texas to come visit. I need to make my way back to California. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave this video here. I love you.